Hi guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner and welcome to my first design for my Koala Tea Crafts design team project. So if you remember, my week is this week right now, so it started on August 20th and it's going to go through the 26th. So I have quite a few projects that I'm going to be showing you. I think 3 altogether I'm going to be showing you. If you remember, I showed you these flowers when I first told you about Koala Tea Crafts, and this is from the floral section of her shop. Now, as you can tell, these 3 flowers are 3 different sizes, but there's actually just one of these flowers and I've sized them to this size. So I'm going to go ahead and color them with my Copics, and then I'm going to put together a card using these 3 images, which are actually one image from her shop, and the leaves, which are also from the leaves section of her shop. So the colors that I'm using for this today are very simple. I'm using 3 shades of green and 3 shades of yellow, and the yellows are Y32, Y35, and Y38, which gives you a really buttery yellow with some orange, some depth with some orange, right? And then for the greens, I'm using YG21, YG23, and YG25. And through with all of these images, I'm going to be doing a little speckle technique where I enjoy doing the dot technique. So where you just kind of go in afterwards and add a few dots here or there. I think it just gives it some character. So I enjoy doing that. So right now you're looking at this and you're going, oh Lord, what is she doing? But you'll see, with the Copics or with any alcohol markers, it's all about the blending, guys. Now the stamen on this one, the stamen I guess is how you pronounce it, I'm not so worried. If I get color on there, it's no big deal, because I'm going to be going over that with white. And for that I'm going to be using my Signa, the Signa Uniball white pen. And that's just going to give it a real white highlight and make it look nice and white, even if I get the dark orange on there, which I think I probably will. So now I'm just going in and I'm blending again my lightest color and making sure that it's all blended and looking really good. And as you can tell by the top flower, it's going to blend out and be a little bit lighter at the end. So as it dries, it's not going to be quite this vibrant. It'll be about the same shade as the flower that's on the top. So again, I took this image, the one image, and I sized it to be 3 different sized flowers so that I could have 3 of these on my card. That's one of the things that I love about digital imaging. Love it. You can take one image and you can change it up. I could have actually have designed the entire card with these 3 images and cut them out in one piece. I could have cut out all 3 flowers in one piece if I had wanted to. But I wanted the depth and the texture on the card, so I chose to do it in 3 sections. Now before I colored these, actually, I cut it out with my brother's Scan and Cut. So again, I printed these out on my regular printer. This one I actually did on my I didn't even use my laser printer. I just used my regular printer on this one. And as you can see, the colors don't bleed. There's never any bleeding, no matter which printer I use. No matter which printer I use, the colors never bleed. So you don't have to worry about that with digital images. It's very easy to, just blend over it with your marker, and you're not going to see any bleeding at all. So that's something else I really like, because printing it out, it's perfect. There's no worries about stamping something wrong, right? You get the perfect crisp black line, or whatever color line you choose. It doesn't have to be black. You could do it in grayscale or brown scale or whatever you want it to do with your printer. So now I'm going over it with that the multi-liner, not the multi-liner, the Sigma ball, the Uniball from Signa, and just making those bright white so that they really pop against the darker orange and yellow that's in the flower. Super cool, right? So in the middle of the flower, I'm going to put just a couple of white little sections. I've also done a few yellow and a few green, and again, I did that strictly for texture only. Now for the leaves, like I said, I'm using the 3 shades of green, and this is simple, quick coloring as well. I'm using my lightest shade, which is the YG21, yeah. And I'm just going to color them really quickly, and then I'm going to go in with my next shade, which is YG23, and I'm going to add a little bit of shadow on the bottom and right up the seam of that leaf. And then I'm going to go in with my darkest color, which is the YG25, and I'm going to add just a little bit right to the corners to where it's the darkest, and I'm going to add a few little lines going up the leaf, you know, where the lines would normally be, and then I'm going to blend it all back out with my lightest marker, which was the YG21, and then I'm going to add some dots, and it just gives you a lot of texture on the leaves, and I really like this method quite a bit. So for the rest of my card, I'm going to be using the standard 5.5 by 4.25 inch cardstock, the card base. I'm going to be using the Nina Solar White 110 pound for my base, and I'm also going to be using some Pretty Pink Posh sequins. I've also chosen a sentiment from Simon Says Stamp. It is from the set called Titled Banner Sayings, and the sentiment I chose was the Hope Your Day is Awesome, which you'll be seeing in a little bit. I stamped that out with VersaFine and just cut out a little banner to attach to it. So as you can see now, I'm blending it all together, the greens together, and then I will start my little polka dots that I'm adding. I'm going to start with the darkest of the greens and then go to the middle green and to the lightest green, and I just think it adds such texture to the leaves. If you looked at leaves in nature, they would not be, you know, without blemishes or without spots. You can always see the spots in a leaf, so I just think it adds a little bit to the leaves. And then I'm going to skip ahead on that third flower because you guys don't need to see me do, you know, all 3 flowers, and we're going to go straight to the panels of the card. So the first panel that I am going to work on is a piece of green apple lawn fawn cardstock, and I'm going to emboss it with an embossing folder that's just going to give it, again, a little more depth, a little more character, and see, now through the magic of video, we're all colored. That third one is all colored. So here is the embossed panel that I've done, and I'm just going to distress it a little bit with the lawn, the Mode Lawn Distress ink. So it started out being a green apple color, and I'm just going to go in and add a little bit of darker green so that my leaves pop. So my leaves are just a little bit brighter around the edges. So now I'm just kind of seeing the placement, and then I'm also going to choose another piece of paper to go behind this, and it's going to be My Favorite Things gingham in orange, and that's going to tie in the orange flowers, and the green has already been tied in, and I'm going to go ahead and work on the inside panel of my card as well. So as you can see, that's what the inside panel looks like through the magic of video. And there's my little orange piece. Like I said, that's from My Favorite Things, and I just thought the oranges matched up really well together, and again gave it a pop of color. So I'm going to add that. It's the exact same size as the card front is, and then the green panel I cut down to be, I believe it was 4 by 5, I think. I'm not sure. And I actually thought about popping that up with tape, with foam tape, but I wanted the flowers to be popped up, so I just used the tape runner real quick because I was sure I could get this really even, and I attached that on there. And then the fun part happens. Now I have to tell you, when I first laid out the images on the card at the beginning of this video, I wish I had snapped a photo. I really liked the way that it had looked originally, and I did not take a picture, so it ended up looking totally different, and I'm okay with that. So now I'm just kind of playing around to see where I want it. I've got my sentiment already stamped out, I believe, so I know where I want that to go. On the bottom, it's kind of going to go on the bottom right-hand corner, if you will, and it's right here where I decided I thought I would go ahead and attach it to the flower, so I was sure that the flower wouldn't move on me later. So I just added a little bit of glue and stuck it on there, and then I knew no matter where I put that flower, it was going to stay right there. So I think I attached that first, and then I just went ahead and played around with everything. I have to tell you, the hardest part for me with this card was the placement, was figuring out where I wanted those flowers and leaves, which ones to pop up and which ones not to pop up. When you see the card at the end, you're going to notice that it's looks different than the card that I'm going to show you in the final photo, because I did decide to go back. I played around with a bow forever and then didn't use it, and then went back and used it, and then I went back and used the rest of the leaves that I had not put in there as well. Like right there, you see that leaf in the middle? I take it out in a minute, but I went back and put it back in, which was part of the first design that I had. So I think all in all, I think that this card turned out really cute, super cute actually. I'm very happy with it, and these images could not have been easier to work with or cuter. I just have to say, the images are just spectacular, and I have said before in many videos that I think digital images are so easy. You don't have to worry about stamping and getting them right. You know, you just print them out the size you want them and color them, and you're good to go. So now I'm adding my foam tape and putting the rest of the card together, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you go on over to Koala Crafts and visit her store and look at the flowers and the leaves. The leaves are spectacular as well. As I said, the flowers were one digital image, and I purchased the bundle is what I did. I purchased the bundle of all the flowers because I knew that I would be using them. I'm also going to be watercoloring them as well in another video. Not these, but another set of her flowers. And the leaves were a different one, and then these were the leaves that I decided to use with this particular flower. So that's another good thing about digital images, is you can switch it up and do, and I could have made these leaves larger or smaller, right? It's just fantastic. So like I said, I hope you guys go on over and visit her little online store. I absolutely love her digital images, and I'm going to go ahead and turn some music on for the last few minutes, or last few seconds really, while you guys watch me fussy around with that bow for about 3 minutes, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!